All I ever knew about that is what labor pains must have felt like. Carol Burnett described, the great comedian. She described it: take your lower lip and pull it up over the top of your head.
There
That's
you
what.
go. There you go.
So, and I had a lady, and she sat right here on this show, I believe it was, and I forget which one it was. You wonderful gals that agreed to come up here, bless your heart. And she said, if one man in this world ever went through having to carry a baby 9 months and then birth that baby,
Yeah.
you would never hear another word about women's reproductive
You
rights.
wouldn't. You wouldn't, because it is a miserable experience.
Yes. I
Yeah.
mean, it's a beautiful experience, but
It
it
is.
is.
Yes, but it is just as miserable as it is beautiful.
There's
And
a
I am
reason-
so
right.
glad I have my son.
Well,
I'm so glad. It was
right.
worth every second. But
Yeah.
it was a miserable experience. I didn't have a happy, glowy pregnancy. I
Yeah.
had a painful, miserable
yeah.
pregnancy. But I'll tell you what I learned.
Okay.
Because I've been reflecting on this a lot, like as it's coming to an end and the finish line is in sight. I've learned so much about myself. I've learned so much about my husband because he's
Right.
my campaign manager. It's like he's just been every facet of the election
He's
or the
done a
campaign.
lot.
He's been
He's
there.
done a lot. Yes, I know he has.
Yes, and he has listened to me so much, vent about things and just put out my frustrations. He's been a rock. But I've learned about how I handle stress.
Right.
I've learned. I've improved my communication skills. I am an introvert with social anxiety. I do not like to be the center of attention.
Right.
I have always been in the background, running things, like
Right,
a boss,
yeah,
but
yeah.
in the
You're
background.
the cook in the kitchen.
Yes,
Yeah,
and
right.
I've always been good with that, but nobody else that I knew of was stepping up for this position, for school board, for
Right.
Zone 3, for the county. And so I stepped up. I've been uncomfortable since last October, but doing it. But also our community. I have just been in awe of our community, the different people that I've talked to, and how community-minded so many of the members in our community really are, and how much we care about each other. And I know that sounds cheesy and like a political answer,
know.
but
Yeah,
it's
yeah,
really,
I
it's
know.
true. It's true. I've been, you hear so much bad stuff on the news and on social media, and it's been so nice to have that balance
Yes.
in the community.
Right.
Yeah.
Sharon, Porterfield, Larry, thank you. We appreciate it. I hope Rayanne is listening. She got on me about remember what I was talking about JD. I posted something on Facebook about JD Vance and his eyeliner. And
I need tips
she
from
said-
him.
she said yes. Said she left me a note. Said I'm going to listen, but it better not be a word about eyeliner mentioned. So there it is. There she is on the phone. I'll bet right now. But is that for me? That it is. All right, caller, we've got you on the air. Go ahead.
Hey, Ed. Hey, Tiffany. It's Christian.
Hey, Christian.
Hello, Christian. Christian Gay. How are you doing?
I'm doing okay. I don't have any huge political thing to say because I think a lot of moments don't necessarily require them. I do have a compliment to pay to Tiffany. I have watched Tiffany as a candidate bloom and grow, and I've been very proud of how she stepped up to be a leader in community politics. Everybody thinks that one of the worst things that can happen to you in a political race is that you lose. Well, I would argue that being irrelevant or being forgotten about is worse. It's a fate worse than losing. And
Sure. Sure.
I think that Tiffany is someone who makes herself unforgettable. I think that she's somebody that
Okay.
that is
Infamous.
a solid and strong advocate for our community values, and someone who's been in the political game for about a decade now. It's really refreshing to see a no-nonsense, strong person step up and try to take on the powers that be, even though it feels like an uphill battle and that you're alone.
Yeah.
There are a lot of people listening to you tonight that are proud of you but may never say it,
Right.
and who admire you and want to follow the example you're setting for us. So, Tiffany, thank you from the bottom of my heart. I appreciate you.
Thank you, Christian. That means a lot. I really appreciate
Christian,
it.
I want to say this, and I have not known you that long, but a few years now, but thank you for what you do.
That's right.
And for these fine candidates, and for the experience, the strength, the inside information of, hey, look, here's something you might want to try. All that is worth its weight in gold. And I mean, but I want to say something to you, to all of us, to anyone. You show me someone that never failed, and I'll show you a failure. And by losing an election, I don't mean you failed, but you show me someone that always won.
What do
I'll
you
show
learn?
you a person that's not really worth much. Okay, I mean, because if you never ventured, nothing gained,
That's
friend.
right. Yep.
So so Christian, thank you for what you do.
Of
We
course,
appreciate
of
it.
course.
Thank
Okay.
you.
All right, looking forward to August 1st. You guys be good, all right?
All right,
Thank
you
you
too.
so much.
Thanks, Christian.
Take care, Christian. Bye bye.
He has been working his rear end off for our friend Kelly Northcutt,
Yes.
who's running for city council. He's
Right.
been her campaign manager. She has an amazing team of just people on her team are dedicated and
See,
believe
Kelly's
in her.
been at this for a while
She
now.
has, yeah.
And so many of our other ladies that are here that have gone out here and done this. Mariah Phillips is,
Yeah.
I'm a fan of hers.
Yep.
So many others. I shouldn't start naming names, but we've got a bunch. Hope
do.
Oliver did it a few
Hope
years
is
ago.
amazing.
She's an amazing woman.
Yes.
So many that, and then there are many people. I think it's the lady she goes to school with me, the Angela. Was it Wynn? Yeah, she's very active in what's going on out there.
Yeah, I haven't met her yet.
You have not met her yet?
No,
Yeah.
but we have so many mutual friends.
Right,
She's
we
on my
do.
list of people
do.
to meet. Yes.
Yeah, and so stick around. I mean, it's not. This is not the end of the world. We're going to get Jackson in here, and we're going to kick this thing off. And when he gets through whatever he's doing and all that stuff, us, we're pretty informal here. And are you ready? We're going to kick this thing off for right now. But for now, yes, my name is Edwin Lee Raymer, and yes, I'm still a private investigator. Welcome aboard.
This is the Edwin Lee Raymer Show with your host, Ed Raymer, on your Good Neighbor station, News Radio, WGNS.
All right, and that is a little rock and roll to kick it off for you. This show's produced right here at the studios of WGNS, AM 1450, 100.5, 101.9 FM, right here in the heart of the great volunteer state, Murfreesboro, Tennessee, where you can reach us tonight, and you can reach me and Tiffany with your questions, your comments, your thoughts at 615-893-1450. That's 615-893-1450. Call letters, that's the AM call letters of this station, 1450. You can also text us that number, and Jackson will be glad to read it over the air, hand it to me, or Tiffany will be glad to read 40 for you, for those of you that may be a little bit too shy to come on. And that would have been Tiffany 6 months ago, but it's not her now. She got out there, got kicked around a little bit. She's not shy anymore, folks.
No. My mom
Now-
told me when I
Yep.
hit my 40s, I'd
Yeah.
stop caring.
You'll stop
and I was
caring.
like,
There
no,
you go. Yeah, you will.
But it's true.
Now, how can you see us? I had a person ask on Facebook earlier. Number of different ways. My wife will listen on Alexa. Occasionally just tell Alexa to pull up this station or whatever. However you work those things, I don't know. I don't know how to make a cup of coffee up here, folks. Okay, I really don't. And you can watch us on YouTube or Facebook Live. You can watch it on YouTube right now at News Radio WGNS. That's News Radio WGNS. And then on our previous broadcast, and I did a repeat last week. I'll get into that in just a second, real quickly, with Kelly Northcutt. You can go to Edwin Lee Raymer Show, and it'll pull it up on YouTube, and they're dated. And you can also download the WGNS app. There's a number of ways, Stitcher, all these ways you can find us, and on the good old-fashioned radio, just like 1450 AM, 100.5 or 101.9 FM, and listen in your car while you drive down the road. And you can take the WGNS app, download it, and take WGNS with you. Go wherever you go and listen whenever you wish. Saw Angela Bingham tonight on the way out. She's always here at 6 o'clock doing Simplicity. Wonderful person. Jason Qualls, had him on a time or two. Great guy, good financial information, good guest that he has. Give him a listen. We've got some good information, good local information, good people. And, of course, it's political season. Yes, a lot of people have asked me, who you having on? We're having a lot of our political candidates on, yes. And I know I caught some flack from having a couple of Republicans on, but I have them on too, okay? I've got to spread this thing around and be as fair as I can. So we'll leave it at that. And we appreciate all of you. Thank you for, and again, to folks just like Tiffany for running. Thank you to Christian. Who's out there, Christian Gay, who's taking care of these folks, breaking you in this thing. Last week, I could not do a show. I slept with my ankle in a twist. I'll leave it at that. And it even affected all the way up to the knee. This ankle's been a problem for me since I was a kid. I twisted it 3 or 4 times in high school. Thank goodness I've never broken it, knock on wood. But I called Tiffany then. I think you were about wore out that day. You're pretty well wore out today, I think.
We had been canvassing all day.
I know you have.
Or all weekend, yeah.
I said, I'll tell you what, we're going to take the night off. And she was getting ready to head to the swimming pool, I believe, best I remember. And I said, you go to your pool, relax with the family for the evening, and I cannot climb these stairs. There's no way. I may have been able to do it, but I wasn't going to chance it. So, I mean, it was just hurting too bad. But tonight, we're getting there. Everything's fine. So, anyway, and even Kelly called and said, hey, Ed, I appreciate you having me on. What's going on? Where you at? So, I appreciate it. Thank you so much, all of you. Tiffany, I want to ask you, like I said, what have you learned? You've talked to a lot of people.
A lot.
And, as you go through this thing, it is a learning experience.
It is. It
and
is.
Do you think you will put your name on a ballot again? Right now, I know you're in the thick. It's not really fair to ask, I guess. Okay.
There is, oh man, let's see how this election goes. I'm gonna be around. Let me tell you.
Please don't give me that. If we win, I'll accept the results. If not, then I'll.
No, what the results are, what they are, who wins.
Please, don't, please
who
don't.
Wins, wins.
Well,
I'm gonna be in
the. If it's a fair election, I'll accept the results. Okay, Tiffany.
I really, I'm so passionate about advocating in our community. So I'm going to be here. I'm still going to be with Rutherford County Library Alliance, advocating for library.
Seems I saw your husband at one of the Smyrna town councils.
Yeah, we get around causing trouble. Good trouble. Good trouble.
Yeah, I won't hurt a thing.
Yeah, we've got some issues with vacancies on our library board and them not getting filled. And but so we're working.
So you're going to be active in that?
We are, yeah.
Right, okay.
And then I'm still going to be active with our Democratic Party. So.
Okay, good deal. Jackson's got a couple of calls waiting for you. Caller, go ahead. You're on the air. Go, please.
Hello, this is Kelly.
Hi, Kelly.
Hey,
How
Kelly.
are you?
Hi. I was just calling in, first of all, to let folks know that it's not too late to support Tiffany. You will not regret it. She's a wonderful candidate. I'm just so thrilled that she's running, and I really hope she wins that race. But you got to get out there August 1st and support our girl.
Right.
and there's
well, I know another
time.
girl they need to get out and support on August 1st, too.
Yep.
And then we're talking to her. And that's the one with Kelly. Kelly, you're running for city council on Murfreesboro.
I am, yes. And I appreciate anybody that can shake off the dust and get out there August 1st and cast a ballot. And, you can do a twofer. You can support two, passionate people that really care about their community. And that's what I wanted to call in and say about Tiffany, that I know she's passionate about this, and I know that she's looking out for the best interest of, her kid and everybody else's. I know that her heart expands for every child that's going to go to those schools.
Well, Kelly, and I know yours does, too, as well.
Well, yeah. That's a lot of the reason that we're running, just to take care of folks and our community. But I guess I kind of wanted to find out. I know some of the library issues, and that is what spurred you to run. But I guess, what do you feel you can make the biggest difference once we get you in there?
Yeah. So the library, the book bannings and the decency ordinance, and the fear that caused in our community, which I know is a big part of you running, Kelly, is
Yes,
is the
it
result
is.
of that.
I was thinking that myself.
And we
Yeah.
need people standing up against that. You know, I'm a mom of a special needs kid, and he's in high school now. He's doing great. He's thriving. But elementary and middle school were tough. And I talked to
Yeah.
so many families with
Sure.
special needs kids who experience the same thing. It is miserable. I stopped working because I was getting called up so often.
Sure. Yeah.
And now,
Because people just aren't
well,
used to
you're
handling
supposed
this
to
type of
sit.
situation. Right.
The kids
yeah.
are supposed to sit there for 7 hours
Right,
quietly
right.
working on command, and that's hard for any kid.
That's hard for any kid.
And then you add any
Sure.
kind of special needs on, and I mean, forget it. But
Sure.
he was getting sent home all the time, emails,
Oh,
calls
yeah.
every day.
Yeah.
It was,
Yeah.
they knew me, and not for the right reasons at the school. I'd walk in
Right.
and
Yeah. Right.
but
And there are staffing issues for a lot of special needs classes.
there
aren't
are, especially right now. You know, what I hope to see is that we have somebody on the board, at least 1 out of 7 on the county school board.
Right.
The one would be me, who's fighting for to keep books in our libraries, our school libraries, and not just the public ones, but the schools.
Exactly.
You know, we expanded our fight with RCLA into the school libraries because we had some whistleblowers inside the school system let us know that there were secret book bans going on
Yeah.
under the
Yeah.
direction of specific school board members, only certain ones. They were being done secretly, without public knowledge, and with no due process.
Right.
And that's the thing.
Just go in and just do it.
Just
Right.
on my
Yeah.
order, remove these books because
That's
I
not gonna
think
fly.
this law says you have to. That's not the way it
seem
works.
Very democratic.
It's
yeah.
not right. It
No,
does
not at
seem.
all.
It seems a little fascist, like the way that we're leaning right now.
And some people, unfortunately, ladies, and Kelly, I hope to stay on the line here. Some people don't have any problem with this. They think this
They
is a
don't.
cool thing to do.
Right.
And they don't know the mess they're creating for
Right.
themselves.
Well, exactly. I mean, you look at Florida. They're having to remove the dictionary.
Oh, it's
You know.
Are you kidding me? They're removing the dictionary?
In Florida, yeah, they've had to remove dictionaries because it has certain words in it that you can't have in books.
Oh, come
but,
on, man.
I mean, Florida's a whole other issue, but I mean,
Sure.
we've got Tennessee. But, you know, we have a library materials review board that every member on our school board right now in Rutherford County created last year. Its sole purpose, this board is made up of principals, school librarians, teachers, and parents.
Right.
Its sole reason for existing is to review any book challenges. Now, we've had a board put another board into place to review
Sure.
book challenges for
Sure.
them. And then you have school board members usurping this board that it's bureaucracy on top of bureaucracy. But usurping
Right.
the role and responsibility of this board that they made to review book challenges, and just on their direct order pulling books. We've got over 3 dozen, or somewhere around 3 dozen that we know of because of FOIA requests.
Man.
So that's something that's a huge thing for me, and why I've decided to run. Also, you know, something that you can expect from me is I'm a loudmouth, and I am
Right.
very passionate about everyone having access to the education that they are required by law to have.
Right.
I don't care.
And allowed by law to have.
Exactly. And that's another thing for me that I'm very passionate about is making sure that our schools, our curriculum, our libraries, our staff, diverse. The dreaded DEI, right? We keep hearing thrown around as a slur. It's the new racial and sexist
Sure.
slur
I
that's
know.
being
Yeah,
used.
Yeah, right.
There's a reason for that because
Sure.
diversity, equity, and inclusion are so important to making sure that we're reaching all of our community, all of our kids. And that's the thing with me. I'm not advocating for any particular group of kids in our school to not have access to something. I want everyone to have access. I don't care what your race is, what your religion is, what your gender is, what your sexual orientation is. I don't care.
Sure.
You deserve the same level of education. You deserve books in the library that represent you. You deserve curriculum and staff members that look like you. And I get so frustrated. I'm so passionate about it. I'm so passionate
it's all right.
about it.
Go right ahead.
It's so frustrating, the things that I've heard since last October when I pulled my petition to run. You know, it's the end of July now.
Right. Yeah.
So since last October, the things I've heard from people on the other side, and the things they want to take away from kids, and the attacks towards vulnerable groups of kids, and the attack on education itself, public education, that we're seeing with charter schools and voucher programs. And the voucher scam's not going to go away. I mean, it's...
Oh, no. They'll just keep pushing.
Yeah.
The governor has doubled down his efforts, campaigning mightily against representatives that voted against it, to replace them with voucher-friendly candidates.
Right.
So that's gonna rear its head again, definitely. And
Sure.
you know, it sounds like you're dangerously close to advocating for equal rights for everyone, for all children.
Shocking, right?
Yeah, that would be a new twist, wouldn't it? Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, and I didn't realize this. We talk about charter schools a lot too, but I learned this over the course of my campaign, just researching charter schools more. They're considered public schools, which I thought before running that they were not.
I have got a list of questions here. We're going to get into that later,
Okay.
if you don't mind.
Nope, that's fine.
If you don't mind.
That's fine. I could talk
Kelly,
for an hour about it.
I don't mean to run you off. You know that, but thank you so much for what you do. We've got another caller on the line, and good luck to you Thursday. Because now this wraps it up for you too, right?
August 1st. Please get out, vote for me and Kelly Northcutt.
Thursday. Yep, 7 a.m. to 7 p.m. As long as you're in line by 7 p.m., you get to vote. And
Right.
if you need a ride, reach out to my campaign, kellynorthcutt.com. We'll make sure you get a way to get there.
Me too. I got a big mom SUV, so
Okay.
There you go. Yeah.
Kelly, thank you so much, as always.
Thank
Kelly
you.
Northcutt, she would appreciate your vote and your support for her candidacy for City Council, for Murfreesboro City Council. Jax, we got another caller waiting if they're still there. Caller, if you're still there, you are on the air now.
Mr. Raymer, how's that ankle doing?
Well, I'm doing fine. Thank you, Jeff.
I didn't know
Thank you.
Didn't know if you got those steps this week. They're pretty rough to get up after a while. But I was going to ask Miss Fee. You kind of covered it while you were running for school board. But I guess what I want to tell you is kind of we already have a really good school system. So I guess there's not much people can do to mess it up. I guess they want to try to, but it seems like. But what I wanted to tell you guys too is I was reading something this week about voter turnout, of course, and they said that the early voting turnout just in Tennessee statewide was about 20% less than it was last time.
Man,
The election. They should have had
and this is supposed to be the year when all this takes place. This is
Right.
presidential election.
yeah.
Yeah, and they say it's about 250,000 people have voted so far, close to it across the state. As far as during the early vote, so I'm hoping people will come out on August 1st and vote. I hope they do because, like you said, Emily, before there's been some close races. One of the past, and Kelly knows this too, that she's lost them before by a few votes. So I mean, people think their vote don't matter, but it
does.
It
Every
does.
single vote matters. This is
Especially
not a
with local
presidential
elections.
election.
Yeah.
Every single vote matters. Make them recount. It won't hurt them. People that have worked up there will tell you this is our job. We have to do a recount. That's what we're paid to do, and they'll pay them as long as they stand there and count those votes.
Yep.
Oh, yeah, that's what they're doing. Like I said, everybody, they don't matter. I mean, who you vote with, but every vote does. Every vote does count. And like they say too, all politics is local, so it always starts on the local front. They do more. The local and the state people do more than the federal people do for you. But
Yeah.
I was going to ask you too. But I know the voucher bill that's going to come back up, and I know I was reading today that Governor Lee had a separate bill, and the House and Senate had their separate bills. They didn't like Governor Lee's, and they kind of clashed last year. But I do know it's going to come up again this year as far as the vouchers, trying to get it in. And like you guys say, they're going to do everything they can to get it into the to the lexicon as far as the school system and everything. But and all that stuff. But now I hope people can get out and vote this week. And like I said, do you right, because like somebody told me one time, said if you don't vote, then you can't be complaining later on when stuff don't go the way you want it to. And Mr. Raymer, I just want to tell you something else too. If you can call me this week, I know you had Stephen Rennan on a few weeks ago about the NIL stuff. I did some research about that, and I can give you some more information about it if you give me a call and speak about it. And we'll talk later on. And y'all have a great rest of the show. I enjoy your show every week, and take care and have a good rest of the week. See you.
Thank you, Jeff.
Thank you,
Jeff
Jeff
Neal, a continued supporter of this. We've got a lot of calls tonight. We have another one on the line right now. Caller, go ahead. You're on the air.
Yeah, I've got a question. This is a political question, but it's not a Republican Democrat question. I've had some issues lately, health-wise and stuff, and I'd just like to know, can you tell me how many school board seats are open, how many people are running, and the names of the people who are running?
I can.
Tiffany can.
Yeah.
Is that what you is that the?
That's what I want to hear.
Yep.
We're going to do it right now. Is that okay if I cut you off at this point, sir?
Yeah,
Would that be okay?
it won't be the first time I've ever been involved.
Well, I don't do it with any animosity, sir. Thank you for your call, and thank you for your question.
Okay.
Thank you. All right, Tiffany,
So-
you're running against Caleb Tidwell.
I am. Yeah.
Okay.
So it's we've got 4 of the 7 seats on our county school board up. I'm in zone 3, but we've got zones 2, 3, 5, and 6 that are up for re-election this year. In my zone, zone 3, I'm up against the incumbent, which I learned because I'm never ran for office before. Incumbent means that it's the person that's already got the job.
Sure, right.
So he's a Republican, Caleb Tidwell. We're also running against an independent, a woman by the name of Lori Johnson. So our spot has 3.
Okay. Now, who are what other zones?
Yeah. So zone 2, we've got. So I'm the only Democrat. Period.
I know Claire Maxwell is running.
Mm-hmm. Claire Maxwell is running unopposed in Zone 5.
Zone 5.
Zone 2, we've got Stan Vaught, who's a Republican, and then we've got an independent, Robert Brooks, who's running. There is another independent, but he got into some scandal. So
okay.
he's still on the ballot because you can't pull him off as far as I know. But
Sure.
It's really those 2. Zone 5 is Claire Maxwell unopposed, and then Zone 6, Butch Vaughn has already won that because he won his primary. He's a Republican, retired principal. Yeah, and he was unopposed.
Right.
So he's just waiting to
Waiting
get sworn in.
Yeah, it'll be get sworn in.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yep.
And I hope that answers your question, sir. And we appreciate your call, and
Yeah,
we
thank
appreciate
you.
that type question. Now, I'll tell you what we're going to do. Tiffany's going to spend the balance of the hour with us. We're going to go to our first break. We're going to get Jackson in here, and then we're going to carry on the rest of our show. And I'll tell you what, Tiffany, thanks for doing this. Thank you for your calls, everyone. Thank you all. Christian, Kelly, thank you, sir, for your call. Thank you, Jeff, all of you. Take a listen to these words from our sponsors. Back with you right after this. Edwin Lee Raymer Show. I'm Ed Raymer. Stay with us. Hello, everyone. It's Ed with Private Investigations in Middle Tennessee. You know, if you just need someone checked out on a background check, tag them a run, or if you need someone full-fledged to follow, give us a call. You can reach me at 615-390-7219. That's 615-390-7219, or check out our website at piofmt.com. That's piofmt.com.
I felt so alone, scared, angry, full of self-pity. I just wanted to die, so I took another drink. Then I heard about AA and went to my first meeting. The people there talked about those same feelings. I was no longer alone. They gave me help to stop drinking and hope to start living. Alcoholics Anonymous, it works. Look us up. Check your phone book, newspaper, or AA.org.
Hey, this is Ed, everybody. Want to tell you about a sponsor of ours. We've got Complete Yard Care. Their slogan is, we do it all. Low maintenance landscape design, retaining walls, tree removal, stump grinding, lawns cut, mulching, landscaping. Now you can reach them at 615-785-0384. Or you can look them up on the web at CompleteYardCareTN.com. They have a 5-star ranking on Google. That's Complete Yard Care. We do it all. Go to J. Mullins Jewelers and check out their collection of reactor watches. They're located at 352 West Northfield Boulevard right here in Murfreesboro, Tennessee. And also custom-made jewelry. If you want it, they can make it for you. Also gifts for any and all occasions. Weddings, graduations, family reunions, anniversaries, all of it. That's J. Mullins Jewelers, 352 West Northfield Boulevard right here in Murfreesboro, Tennessee. And we are back. Thank you. And thank you to all of our sponsors. Thank you, Jay Mullins. Thank you, Complete Yard Care. Thank you to all the rest that have been sponsors in the past. I appreciate you. Without you, we couldn't do this. Tiffany, I want to ask you something. And I was looking over this past week, and I went to the July 17th school board meeting. Okay. First of all, how many different types of private, quote unquote, private schools are there? Now we have, what are the differences? Of course, we've got the good old fashioned public schools, which is why people are here. That's the bulk of what grew this county. Mm-hmm. But you have faith-based schools. You have, for example, the Webb School, which I consider the Webb School a private school.
Sure, yeah, it is.
But then you have magnet schools, alternative schools. And I'm looking at this language that we're using that to sort of, quote, fool people. To say, well, this is an alternative. What is the difference? What are we looking at?
So magnet and alternative schools are public schools. Alternative is for the kids that have gotten into trouble, and they remove them from their school. Put them in a separate school.
Okay, all right, yeah, they've running with the law or whatever the case might be.
A little bit beyond like in school suspension.
Sure,
a level higher. Put them in a separate school.
All right. But it is a public school.
And it's temporary. Now, magnet schools, those are for the gifted kids. You have to test in.
I had a nephew that graduated from Central Magnet, which has been with us. Yeah. Or the people here that went to high school there.
Yeah.
When it was before the days of Riverdale and Oakland.
Yeah, I've got friends whose kids graduated or go there now.
Sure.
Smart kids.
Bright bunch of kids.
Oh yeah, definitely. But those are public schools. And then you've got faith-based, like you talked about. We've got Middle Tennessee Christian School. We've got Fellowship Christian Academy. I don't remember.
You've got
Providence,
PCA, Providence Christian Academy. You've got them all. There's so many of them.
Yeah,
and that's fine.
Yeah,
that's wonderful.
Yeah.
You can afford to send your child there. That's fine.
More power to you. Yeah.
But what is this school? For example, the school board voted to put money into this different type school.
Charter schools.
Charter school.
Yeah.
That's basically a private school.
So they're
the ones that want the vouchers for?
No. So charter schools and vouchers are separate. It's confusing.
Yeah.
It's confusing.
That's what I'm talking about.
And you hear them talked about sometimes interchangeably or at the same time, because the charter schools are technically public schools.
Right.
I don't consider you a public school when you can discriminate on who is admitted to your school.
True.
My kid is autistic. A lot of special needs kids don't get admitted to charter schools because they don't want to. Okay. But that's a whole separate issue.
All right. Yeah, I understand.
My mama bear will come out. But
yeah, right.
But charter schools are funded by public schools. So any charter schools, we have 3 right now that are getting funds from Rutherford County Schools. And the problem is that the state has not worked out all the funding. Our charter schools right now, the way that our states have it, are funded a year ahead based on the projected amount of students they expect to have when school starts. Our public schools themselves are funded a year behind. What they had last school year is what the state ponies up funding for, which is a problem already when we have, over 1,000 new students every single school year.
Every year. Yeah. And they're not stopping.
They're not, no. But the problem is that we are having to take our funds and fund charter schools based on what they think this upcoming year is going to be, when we're already being funded for last year's numbers that are way behind this year's. Like to the point that we are, forgive me if it's 11 or 18 million dollars in the deficit for this upcoming school year, specifically because after our school system balanced its budget for the upcoming year, we had the added burden of these charter schools and the amount of money that we were not expecting to have to fund them. 11 or 18 million dollars, I'll remember as soon as I leave. Right. That we're in the deficit now.
Right, yeah.
Because we have to fund these schools. One of them is a Hillsdale College school.
That's a private school.
Hillsdale is problematic. It's because of the religious beliefs.
Right. And here's what I'm getting at. Mm-hmm. Why is a public school board discussing this?
Because the state makes us. Like we've rejected one of the three our school board voted against.
Right.
And they appealed to the state, and the state approved for them to run.
Sure, naturally.
Rutherford Collegiate Prep is one of the three that's starting this upcoming school year that our school board did not approve. It wasn't up to snuff. There, our school board didn't think that they were prepared or whatever it was.
Sure. I mean, one of these schools that they said that they were going to put in, this is the money last year that the board voted to put, to set aside, was going to relieve us. We have like more than 50,000 students, was going to relieve us of like 350 students, more or less.
Well, and that's the thing that
I said, come on, man, I can take that many to my family farm up in Kentucky.
Right.
Come on, man.
Yeah, they're not. Rutherford Collegiate Prep says that they have their maximum 765 seats filled, and they have a waiting list. The last that we were able to verify based on that school board meeting that you were talking about earlier this month, they only had 300 and something. But
I mean, I don't get it.
But even still. At the high school my son's at, there's several thousand kids there.
Sure. Yeah.
The charter schools together, the three charter schools together, don't even have, 1,000 kids with numbers that we've verified. Now, they say 765 plus a waiting list at Rutherford Collegiate, but it hasn't been proven to us yet. We've verified 300 and something.
Sure.
And then the Hillsdale one, which is called American Classical Academy because they did a rebrand because it's Hillsdale and they got bad press. They're also involved with the Heritage Foundation and Project 2025, and our public dollars are going to their charter school in our county, which is a huge issue for me.
I bet it is.
Yeah.
I think I've got a name for you.
What's that?
They always had one for me. My dad always, Eddie, you have a bad attitude. I always thought, if this family could buy a racehorse, we'd name it Eddie's Bad Attitude, And I think you and I are on the same track, and I think we're going the same way. I mean, I sat there the night. I went through this meeting 2 or 3 times. Mm-hmm. Not the entire meeting.
Yeah.
But Coy Young was speaking.
Yeah.
And I said, I'm not sure. And that's what I'm talking about language getting you mixed up. What is the difference? An alternative school, a magnet school, a real private school, a faith-based school.
Right.
I had a man that told me once, now no offense, folks, to you folks that are at faith-based schools. I've got good friends that their children have been to them. Big believer in them. Fine. They do a great job. Don't get me wrong. But He said, are you going to a private school or is it a faith-based school?
It's the same thing.
Yeah.
Yeah. Right.
But at some of the faith-based schools, we do carry our Bibles. And that's fine.
Yeah.
That's wonderful. That's what you pay to do. That's wonderful.
Yeah.
Okay. But then some of those parents don't believe they ought to be paying property taxes either. And I said, this is a double-edged sword because I'm not forcing you to send your kids to a private school.
Right.
And that's fine. If you can afford to do it, great.
Right. Yeah, do what is right
But
for your family.
then I say, okay, but wait a minute. How did you get to work? Well, I drove on the road.
That's
really?
right.
So, I mean,
we're a community, and
Right.
community has to take care of community. Now, if you have a higher level of income or privilege or means or whatever word you want to use, and you want to go above and beyond and put your kids in private school, that's fine. I don't have an issue with that. I have an issue with if the public funds get removed from our public schools and our kids that are the most vulnerable and don't have those same means, and they have a lower quality of education because you want to go above and beyond what the rest of us have.
Sure, I understand.
And that's what vouchers is. Vouchers takes money from the public schools and it gives it to the private schools. You look at states like, we've got them in Wisconsin, Arizona, Florida. These states, 70 to 80+%, depending on what state it is, of the kids that get vouchers are already enrolled in private schools.
Right.
You look at states like Arizona and Florida, they are having to shut down public schools, rural schools in Arizona.
To me the other day when we spoke. I could not
because
believe
they've
that.
lost so much funding. And the argument that we get from the other side about charter schools is, well, just go to a public school. You can't when you live in a rural community and your rural community school is getting shut down because so many rich people are taking money out of your kids' future, out of their education funds, to go to the charters or the public schools. Lord.
I know.
I'm so worked up now. I'm getting tripped over.
I know. I know.
But
I'm sorry.
They're closing down rural schools because so many rich kids are getting to have their education paid for with public funds. Now, what is a kid in rural Arizona supposed to do whose family is barely scraping by, like most of us are right now with the economy?
Sure.
What's he supposed to do or she's supposed to do when their rural school closes down? Can mommy and daddy drive them to the next school? How long is that? How many hours are you looking at on the bus?
Right.
And these are the repercussions that we have that people don't like to talk about. It's it's great because
very unhandy.
all these churches in these communities are opening up basement schools, and it's great because you get to keep the kids in the church and out of the world where they're being indoctrinated.
Yeah, sure.
And it's at a cost.
Sure.
For one thing, those schools don't have the accountability that our public schools do. And then it's at the cost of public funds for our most vulnerable kids and not even our most vulnerable, all of our middle class and lower kids who don't have another option. I can't put my kid in private school.
And I saw the piece months ago on Channel 5, WTVF, here, our local affiliate in Nashville, of course. Yeah. I say our local affiliate. I don't mean that, but it's the CBS affiliate. But at any rate, Carrie Sharp did, and Arizona was a nightmare.
It's a nightmare.
I mean, they were buying Steinway pianos and camper homes and everything else. We're going to go to our last series of breaks, Jackson, when you get a chance. I mean, it's a literal nightmare out there.
And the only reason we don't have voucher programs already for this upcoming school year is because so many people, Republican, Independent, Democrats across the state from all backgrounds, all faiths, all political ideas, got together and said this is wrong.
It's wrong. Yeah, and a lot of Republicans even said that.
Yes, and you cannot attack our kids' education.
Tiffany Fee's with us. We're talking about education, and that's something she's passionate about and something she knows about. Ed Raymer with the Edwin Lee Raymer Show. We're going to do our last series of breaks. Be right back with you. Stay with you. Right back after this. Hello, everyone. It's Ed with Private Investigations in Middle Tennessee. You know, if you just need someone checked out on a background check, a tag number run, or if you need someone full-fledged to follow, give us a call. You can reach me at 615-390-7219. That's 615-390-7219. Or check out our website at piofmt.com. That's piofmt.com.
I felt so alone, scared, angry, full of self-pity. I just wanted to die, so I took another drink. Then I heard about AA and went to my first meeting. The people there talked about those same feelings. I was no longer alone. They gave me help to stop drinking and hope to start living. Alcoholics Anonymous, it works. Look us up. Check your phone book, newspaper, or aa.org.
Hey, this is Ed, everybody. Want to tell you about a sponsor of ours. We've got Complete Yard Care. Their slogan is, we do it all. Low maintenance landscape design, retaining walls, tree removal, stump grinding, lawn scut mulching, landscaping. Now you can reach them at 615-785-0384. Or you can look them up on the web at CompleteYardCareTN.com. They have a 5-star ranking on Google. That's Complete Yard Care. We do it all.
Go to J. Mullins Jewelers and check out their collection of reactor watches. They're located at 352 West Northfield Boulevard right here in Murfreesboro, Tennessee. And also custom-made jewelry. If you want it, they can make it for you. Also gifts for any and all occasions. Weddings, graduations, family reunions, anniversaries, all of it. That's J. Mullins Jewelers, 352 West Northfield Boulevard right here in Murfreesboro, Tennessee. All right, we are back, and we have a caller on the line. Tiffany, thank you again for doing this, caller. You are on the air. Go ahead, please.
Yes, Ed, this is Hooper Pena from the great country of Lascassas.
Oh, the honorary mayor of Lascassas, Hooper Pena. How you doing, Hooper?
Doing great, buddy. How are y'all doing?
We are just talking about public schools and private schools and vouchers and all that good, interesting stuff.
Oh, gosh, y'all got a big subject tonight. I'm telling you, it's important for all of us here in the county.
Yes.
But I just want to compliment your guest tonight for running.
Well, thank you.
Trying to make a difference in what we do. It's important to step out there on the line. Mm-hmm. And to make a difference. And so, Tiffany, I want to thank you for jumping out there. It's important. There's a lot of competition, I understand, and you understand it. But you've got to get out and you've got to vote. You've got to get people to vote. You got to make sure people vote for you. Mm-hmm. You are the difference.
Well, and Hooper, I think her skin's a little thicker this time around. This is only the first time she did this, so.
Well, it's gonna be thick.
I'll tell you what. Yeah, I think her husband Matt. I think he is carrying a weapon around the house now, and
don't
they're called earplugs.
They're called earplugs.
Don't do that. No.
Hooper, thank you so much, because this young lady is very special. This was her first time out of the gate, and your call means a lot. Thank you so much.
Well, I don't know. You know, as a former administrator of elections here in Rutherford County, been a Democrat for years and years and years. It's important that the people come out and participate and do what they can to make a difference. And the only way you can do that is like you said, put your name on the ballot.
That's right.
And go for it.
That's right.
And we will appreciate what you do, Tiffany. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Hooper, thank you so much, Mr. Hooper Pena. And we appreciate you so much. Thank you. I'll talk to you later in the week. Thank you, Hooper.
See you later.
Take care.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
Bye.
Very nice of him to do
Yes,
that.
that was very sweet.
That man is he's been around he's been around the horn of this thing a few years.
I know his name, but I've never met him.
He was your former administrator of elections.
Okay, all right. I'd love to meet him in person.
Yeah,
yeah.
He's something else. And we got another call? Do we? Oh, we don't. Okay. Thank you. Thought we did. Thank you for all your calls tonight. You had a lot of calls come in, young lady. We had a bunch. Yeah, I'm telling you.
I think I've only had one.
You're popular. You know,
Before,
you're pretty popular. You see how this thing works now, and you ought to be me walking down the street.
I'll co-host with you.
Oh no, I'll get stopped, and you know, it's really amazing. It's wonderful. And I know how Bart Walker and Scott and how and Brian Barrett, of course, I know how they feel because I've been here over 11 years now, and I'm starting to, you know, Mr. Raymer, I've been listening to you for years. Oh, thank you so much. You know, and so, I mean, you know, I was born back in the last century. That makes it even worse.
I was too. As my son likes to remind me all the time.
Yeah, these kids will do it, won't they?
Mom, what was it like being born in the 1900s?
The 1900s.
Shut up. Go do the dishes.
Yeah. The 1900s. I like that. Yeah, that kid's smart. I like that kid. What was it like being born in 1900? Oh,
no,
Lord.
But Hooper had a good point, though. The voter turnout's been so low. So anybody listening, please, it's so important to get out and cast your vote.
I know it is, and I know you have waited till Thursday. That's okay.
Yeah.
But I think, and I told you, Bart had Alan Farley. Alan was on he's our administrator of elections, who's done a great job, makes it easy for everybody to vote.
Yeah.
But, and I'll stand corrected on this, I think the turnout at that time last week had been like just over 4%.
Yeah. I don't know the percentage. I just look at the actual numbers every day. And yeah.
And I mean, you know,
low.
Folks, give some of us a call. We'll take you to the polls. I mean, you know, but Thursday, I have a feeling is going to be a busy day.
Yeah.
And you'll be out campaigning, I'm sure.
I'll be out holding my sign up. Lots of volunteers.
Right.
For me and Kelly will be out holding signs up. So look for us.
Kelly's she's pretty slick. You know, she's been at this a while.
I have so much respect for Kelly.
Her and Mariah
so much
both.
Respect.
Yeah. And Mariah
we have
both.
So many strong women in the Democratic
I
Party.
know we do.
Oh man.
And you know, it's just, you know, we've got to utilize everybody, not just the females. I mean, guys. We need some guys in here too.
Yep.
And we've got a few.
Yeah.
Don't get me wrong.
Yep.
But
we've got some great ones running for state office.
Sure. Matt Ferry's been at this game for a while now. You know.
Yep. Matt Ferry, Jonathan Yancey.
Jonathan is.
Luis Mata.
Luis Mata,
and
they're moving on now after Thursday because they're in a state race.
Right.
A lot of them.
Yeah, they're. Yeah. So they'll move on past their primaries and be on the ballot in November.
For you, for Kelly, and a few others, maybe, I don't know. I can't. I'm sorry.
For the Democrats, it's me and Kelly.
You and Kelly now,
Kelly.
and you know, but
quality over quantity.
Well, it's true too. That's exactly right. Anything else left? We've got about 5 minutes left. We're going to get out here in about 2 minutes, just really about 2.5, 3 minutes. Anything else you want to say? Any way people can reach you that may want to know about you? Please tell us, let us hear it, because this is it.
Yep. So you can go to my website, find out more about me and where I stand on issues, and also it's got my contact info, links to YouTube video clips from a League of Women Voters forum that I did. Go to votetiffanyfee.com. It has links to my social media. I'm on Facebook and Instagram. I'm looking up my number right now. I've got a Google Voice number. It's 615. You can text me at this number, 615-900-0538. You can text me on that number. Any questions that you have, 615-900-0538. Go to votetiffanyfee.com if you want to look up more about me, see who I'm endorsed by, where I stand on issues. Facebook and Instagram, too. Look for me there. But I'm a mom. I've lived in Rutherford County with my husband Matt for 20 years. We just celebrated our 20th wedding anniversary earlier this year.
Right. Okay.
You know, I hate that our school boards, we have to declare our party because it shouldn't be the number the letter next to your name. It
Right.
should be who you are and what you want for our kids and for our school system, for our teachers.
Yeah.
I've talked to so many educated teachers, current teachers. I've had, a teacher over for dinner at my house and
Right.
talk to them about it. Talk to so many when knocking on doors and picnics and just all kinds of events that and teachers and librarians.
You got a place in your heart for them.
Yes, they do. They do, because it's
Tiffany, I know we're gonna have to get out of here.
I know. You gotta shut
no,
me
no,
up.
No,
I know.
no. You know that. But I wanted to say something. Girls, ladies, Tiffany and I were voting. We were talking before we came in here. If you don't get out and vote this year, with the events that have happened in the last 10 days,
Yeah.
with Kamala Harris and all this, folks, ladies, if you don't want to get out and vote this year, I don't know what to tell you.
Trump said you won't have to worry about it in 4 years.
Yeah, he said in 4 years
Just
you'll
get out
never have to
this-
vote again.
Mm-hmm. So
Let's hope to goodness
that
he's
tells
wrong.
you all you need to know.
And it looks like from the polls, hopefully he will be, because she's inching up little by little. Tiffany, thank you for being here.
Thank you
Bless
so
your heart.
much.
Thank
Thank
you
you.
so much. Jackson, thank you. Ed Raymer with you for the Edwin Raymer Show. And until next Sunday night at 8 o'clock, I'll catch you down the road. Good night.